This is probably going to be my first Giga lock. Although it's going to be close, I think it's going to be a Giga lock. All the same. It's going to be Javid Basharat versus Victor Henry. Javid Basharat, obviously 14-0. I mean, 5-0 in his last five. He's coming off of that win against Mateus Mendonca at for a decision win. He's Afghan, 28 years old, in the prime of his career, 5'9", 69-inch reach. I believe that he trains at Extreme Couture with Sean Strickland, so gets a lot of good sparring in that camp. He's going up against Victor Henry, 26, 23-6, 3-2 in his last five. Coming off of that really close kind of split decision win over Tony Gravely. And, he's 36, 5'7", 68-inch reach. So he's going to be the slightly shorter guy and slightly Javi Basharat's going to be the longer guy in this matchup. Slight advantage there. He is going to be the older guy, though. Odds-wise, man, I mean, the odds have gotten really crazy for this. Javid Basharat opened up at a minus 350, and throughout the course of that day, it was bet down to like a minus 625, and that's kind of where it stands now. I mean, so people instantly saw that this guy's a 3-1 favorite, and then made him a 6-1 favorite right off the bat. I mean, the money flow was kind of insane for this one. Um, I don't blame them. I mean, I this is my gigalock. I think that Javi Basharat, although the price is kind of crazy now, minus 625. I mean, I have to think about that, but you know, I think that this is a good matchup for him. I mean, he has terrific offensive and defensive grappling. He's also a good striker who stays safe and pumps out a really good volume and pace. You can kind of see that with his striking differentials. He lands 5.64 strikes per minute, 60% striking accuracy. He absorbs 2.3 strikes per minute. So this guy's ratio is off the chart. 66% striking defense. So that's also pretty high for a defense right there. And he has to do two takedowns per 15 minutes, 57% accuracy, 85% takedown defense. So he doesn't get taken down himself. I mean, good variety of punches and kicks, can fight in all distances in the clinch and on the outside. I think in this matchup, if Javid Basharat is who I think he is, he will most likely try to out wrestle Victor Henry in this matchup after he strikes for a bit, right? Let's say he tries to strike for like half a round, maybe less, and then he's going to work in those takedowns to steal and solidify those rounds, right? Even let's say that's a close round, I think he's going to mix in his kind of grappling and with his accuracy. I think it's going to be good optics for a decision victory. This is another fighter where I think that his fighting style, similar to kind of a Nathaniel Wood, it just looks like his fighting style just looks better for a decision victory because he's pumping out high volume and he's mixing in those kind of grappling situations there. I do think that this fight wise, I mean, the odds are a little wide. They are a little wide because I think Victor Henry is a legitimate fighter. I mean, he's a high volume kickboxer who throws at an even higher pace than Javid. He has really good sprawl, and kind of brawl style that works against wrestlers. You saw that with his Ronnie Barcelos fight in his first fight in the UFC. He kind of stuffed a lot of Ronnie's takedowns, and then he was just outpacing this guy for all 3 rounds in that fight. I think that he threw like 400 something strikes in that fight. I mean, that's nothing to joke. That's like nothing to sneeze at. And then in his other fights, I mean, this guy's averaging hundreds of strikes on his output. So he does have mixed results in his 3 fights so far. I mean, he did really well against Ronnie Barcelos I think he was a pretty decent underdog in that fight. And then he lost against Rafael Assunção, and he was a heavy favorite in that fight. So it's kind of contrasting kind of victories and losses there, which is kind of interesting because I mean Rafael Sunsao and Ronnie Barcelos, Tony Gravely, who he had a kind of split win against. All three of those fighters have decent power and like to wrestle, but you kind of see a different result in each fight, right? Which I think is really interesting because he had a split win against Tony Gravely, pretty dominant win against Barcelos, and then he lost against Sunsao. So um, I do think the similarity between those guys were that they were all kind of old in a way, and he's going to be fighting a guy in who Javid. I mean, I feel like Javid Basharat's in his prime right now, and he looks ready to secure another dub on his record. Javid's going to be the younger guy here. Um, I do think this is going to be a decision fight, so I'm kind of worried about that in that sense because you just never know what could happen in decision fights, especially with a guy that Victor Henry, he just pumps out that volume. So it could look a little different. Like, let's say that he stuffs his takedowns from Javid, this fight could look really close. Then, I mean, at that point, I'll just say right now, Javid Basharat by decision could be good. Um, but I'll wait for the kind of the parlay for the face-offs there because I do think that I need to see how they look stacked up against each other. But I mean, Javid by decision, by the way, it's minus 150 right now, so people kind of already paid that juice in a way, so it's not really like not really a plus odds kind of deal right there. But yeah, I think that Javid's going to win this fight. I mean, I would feel comfortable in putting him in a parlay after the face-offs, but I'll eventually probably put him in a parlay. I think that he's like a semi-gig lock after it kind of broke down each fighter. Alex, what do you think about this fight between Javid Basharat and Victor Henry here?
Yeah, I think Basharat is also my Giga lock here. I'm gonna put him in my parlay, set and forget type deal. Um,
Like that.
like I think Henry is a solid overall fighter, but I just think Basharat is better, even better fighter than like his overall style. Like I think Basharat is just better, everywhere, like on the feet, wrestling, grappling. I think Basharat has all areas really covered. Um, when I was, breaking down Victor Henry, I also noticed, same thing that you did. Great pace, cardio, punches, teep kicks, solid get up game. Um, but Basharat, I feel like again just better everywhere. Um, interesting thing is like Basharat and Victor Henry, I feel like they both have a very like similar like frame as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, these both these fighters are like really similar. I just think Basharat is better everywhere. Um, but yeah, like the odds are pretty wide, so I really like Basharat by decision. I think, to get those odds down, like I see this as a decision fight. Like ever since Basharat has been in the UFC, like all his fights have actually gone to decision.
Right.
Um, so I think, this is another like decision fight. But if you're gonna put him in like some like big parlays, maybe just do money line to be safe.
Hmm.
And maybe like if you're doing like medium parlays or you're putting like maybe like a unit or more, then you can do the Basharat by decision. But um, yeah, I like Basharat here. Either money line for like a set and forget parlay and decision if you want to get those odds down. If you want to do a straight bet or something like I think that's really good. I feel like it's going to be a decision.
Definitely. Yeah, what do you think about the over 2.5? I want to get your thoughts on that. It's minus 275 right now. The only reason why I bring that up is because I feel like I played an over for Javid's brother Fareed. He just straight up subbed someone like the first like round or so. But that was just a bad analysis on my part because I think I did that over with a shoot box guy. That didn't work
Yeah,
out.
yeah. The shootbox guys always they always tap out, man. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you should.
I thought that fight was gonna go over as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like Victor Henry, like he's got skills. He's not like a
Hmm.
bum or anything.
Right.
Uh, and all six of his losses are from decision for
Hmm.
Victor Henry. So like he's never been KO'd or submitted.
Exactly.
Like this, I mean, this looks like a decision fight. Unless something crazy happens, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Maybe the over could be something good. The maybe potential leg on a parlay or something because over 2.5 is minus 275 right now. Obviously,
Yeah,
much better than playing a Javid as a straight money line at minus 625 right now. So maybe there's some value there. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see how weigh-ins look and face offs and all that jazz.